All right, Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Bahasham, Qadash. We give double honors to those and apostles. The great millstone led me to this truth. And been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing to be part of that number. Lord willing to be edifying those who fear the name of the Lord and are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Esdras chapter 5, verse 42, which is in the Apocrypha. Water for tuning in. And today the Lord put the Spirit on me to deal with some articles. It's going on with vapes contaminated with flesh-eating drugs in Britain. AI Bible, world's first flying car, and various end-time topics. So, Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. And go ahead and get started. Okay, so go ahead and get into some of this real fast. We'll get into some precepts. So it says, deadly risk, urgent warning, as vapes contaminated with flesh-eating drug found in Britain. Vapes contaminated with a deadly flesh-eating drug have been found in Britain. The Sun can reveal. It's Exlizine, a horse tranquilizer causing havoc with drug users in the U.S., was discovered in modified e-cigarettes. So they had horse tranquilizer in these mechanical smoking mechanisms. They got Jake out here bugging out on horse tranquilizer, man. Okay, this is why we're not supposed to be smoking. It defiles the body. This is why this stuff is no good, you know. But now it's starting to come out. Health bosses issued a warning against warning to NHS clinics because it causes skin and tissue necrosis and it's easy to overdose on. So we're gonna look that up real quick. So it causes tissue necrosis. And it's also got horse tranquilizer in it. This stuff you're not supposed to be smoking, man. That's why we tell Jake, you know, that stuff defiles our body. They putting all types of bullshit in these chemicals in these cigarettes, man. So it says necrosis is the death of body tissue occurs when too little blood flows to the tissue. Hold on, let me do something real quick. Okay. It starts messing up like that. I'm gonna cut that off. So it occurs when too little blood flows to the tissue. This can be from injury, radiation, or chemicals. Necrosis cannot be reserved. When large areas of tissue die due to the lack of blood supply, the condition is called gangrene. So this is what these cigarettes is causing, man. This is what this is causing. Okay, and they know this. How long people been smoking on these? You know, and it's just, you know, in severe cases, respiratory depression can be life-threatening. You know, and that's what this stuff is. Over time, you're gonna really have some health problems with this, and we know we don't probably got a lot of time left here, anyways. But it's just something to understand. This is why we're not supposed to be smoking this stuff, man. They're killing our people with this stuff. So now we're gonna get into some precepts. We'll go to the blue letter. We're gonna start at 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. And it reads, "What? Know ye not that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit which is in you?" And this is really only talking to Israel, because we're the only ones that can attain the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash, which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not your own. See, we don't even own our body. So how much more these things of the earth? Verse 20. For ye are bought with a price, therefore glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High's. And we've all made mistakes in the past and tainted our bodies, but once we come to this understanding, fully, and understand that this is a vital vessel for Yahawashi to use, and he doesn't want to dwell in an evil vessel. So we want to cut all that out, you know what I mean? Don't be doing all that smoking and all that, and not over drinking either. Everything's got to be moderately done, but there's some things that are not to be done at all. That's the same way with certain foods. So now we're going to go over here to 1 Corinthians. We're going to go to chapter 7. We're going to jump over a chapter. We're going to read a little bit of this, And this is, just something that the Lord put in the spirit on me also to deal with. So this is basically teaching on marriage, because, when you get married with somebody, we know that's when you do intercourse, when you have sex with somebody. So basically it's like, you become one body, you become one flesh. So it says, now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, nevertheless to avoid fornication, which is committing adultery. Okay, sleeping with another man's wife. Let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. See, so there's nothing wrong with marriage, but once you keep reading, you're gonna see what he means by this. Let me turn this off. It's acting weird. Let me play it off here. Okay. Salakia. Trying to get that volume right. Okay, so now we're gonna go back over here. And this has to do with, it's something else that deals with, how we're supposed to treat our bodies as well, and what our bodies belong to, especially when we're in a marriage, it's still, those bodies still belong to Yahawashi. So when you get in a marriage, it's supposed to be to glorify the name of Yahawashi. And right now we know that marriage is an expedient, but it's also that if you do meet somebody, it's fine if you're doing it, but you make sure that it's to serve Yahawashi, not for just some fleshly reasons. So, like it says, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, which means adultery, sleeping with other men's wives, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. And when you just going around and you talking to different women, some women will lie and say they don't even got a man, and then you done committed adultery. That's why it's good to have somebody, who's, honest, and someone who's proven themselves. If you're going to, deal with a woman, some women are not honest. Like look at that woman right there. She don't look honest. Eve was deceived. So there's not a lot of honest Eves out there. A lot of them will lie and tell you they don't got a husband. So don't just think that you just go around and just deal with any woman, because some of them will tell you that, and that's not, you know, you want a woman that's you know, doing their best to serve Bahasham Yahawashi. So it says, you know, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also to the wife unto the husband. So I want to look that up, because this is like about being one flesh and how to make both of your bodies vessels for Bahasham Yahawashi to be examples to the flock on what it means to be married under the order of Bahasham Yahawashi, to have a holy marriage, you know, to the best of our abilities, of course, because we're not going to be perfect. It said we're going to suffer and go through things, but there's a way to go about it. So it says goodwill, kindness. See, kindness. And stickily, I don't know how to say that. I want to look it up. And it says conjugal duty. See, it's a sacrifice to you know, show Bahasham Yahawashi we're in order with him, because this is you know, this is how he set things up. So it says I'm gonna euphemistically. I've never heard that word. So it says by means of a mild or indirect word expression, instead of one considered too harsh or blunt. So, you know, we're not supposed to be too harsh with each other, and we're supposed to deal with each other in a way where it's like, you know, we're understanding and patient and long suffering, just like Bahasham Yahawashi was with us when we kept going on. You know, there was plenty of times, like I said in my last camp, that the Lord said that He could have destroyed us, and He didn't. So just like if you know your spouse makes a mistake, be patient with them and pray to Bahasham Yahawashi, and you know, explain to them, you know, how you feel about it. You know, you should, if you're gonna be with somebody, you shouldn't be afraid to tell them how you feel without them being too harsh on you. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be understanding of each other, and that's also concerning the brother. That's why the Lord put the Spirit on me to bring this up. You know, so like it says, you know, because if we're both in order and trust each other, and we're not harsh to each other, then, you know, we can always get through things and not be so quick to war against each other. And that's why a lot of marriages fail, because they don't have that connection to Bahasham Yahawashi and His order. So the wife and like their bodies, you know, how you self-discipline your body, you know, from wherever you came in the truth. Some people got different issues coming into the truth, you know, and you know, from that point you want to better yourself and take care of yourself better. You know, nobody's perfect, man. Everybody's gonna be in here having some type of issue. We're under the curses. We're supposed to be understanding of each other, but honest. You see. So it says the wife have not power of her own body, which means what? That's our possession. But what does that mean if you got a possession? If the Lord's giving you a whole body, which is your woman to possess, you're supposed to take care of that body and make sure it's protected. And that's part of your duty as a husband. But the husband, and likewise also the husband, have not power of his own body, but the wife. So that means, like, basically we're not supposed to resist each other. But, you know, this is, you know, concerning days of the old, you know, whenever, you know, it was a virgin and whatnot. So it's always give or take with this, you know. You don't want to just do something if your spouse is doing it wickedly, you know. But if you both have fear in Bahasham Yahawashi, this is something that can be followed, you know. Because if you really do care about your spouse, you're not going to just use them like that. You're gonna take care of them, you know. So verse 5, defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, which means, like, you know, not to, if you try to ask your wife, like, you know, you want to, you know, you want to do something that night and she don't feel like it, you know, don't make it seem like, you know, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to reason with our spouse, you know. And of course we can have multiple wives, but right now that's not expedient, because, you know, there's a time coming where, you know, the elect men will have 7 wives, which is perfection. but we're not really worried about that. That's not the time right now to worry about that. We're focusing on things that concern salvation. And if you want to be saved, if you're going to plan to get a wife or something, you need to have your house in order. See what I'm saying? So it's very important. So defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempts you not for your incontinuancy. Now, I want to look up that word incontinuancy as well.
Strong's G 192. Akrasia.
Akrasia, want of self-control. So incompetence and intemperance, self-restraint, and if you try to be too excess in anything, the Lord can use, or the Satan can use that and basically tempt you to disrupt what y'all are doing to worship Yahawashi together. Because it says that man's, it's not good for man to be alone. So if you do find an actual woman that's, wanting to come back to the ways of Yahawashi and serve you, don't just think of it as like she's just something to use. She's a something that it's a test from the Lord. We're basically his wife. He doesn't just treat us like that. But when we're punished, he's gonna punish us accordingly. But it's different with the wives because they're the weaker vessels. So we're supposed to have more understanding and understand also that it's the men's, position that we put ourselves in is why we deal with things with our wives, because we sinned against the Lord. So we can't get mad at our wives if they go off a little bit and whatnot. We gotta be, understanding, but if they just not listening or whatever and just not want to cooperate or agree with you, then yeah, it says that the two offenses, don't mean you just break up with them or give them a divorce or marriage, but you pray to the Lord and say, Lord, deal with it, and just leave them alone about it, And that's what kind of patience we gotta have. But a real wife who really does love you, she's not gonna make it hard on you. She's supposed to be a pillar of rest. So it says, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. So these are just things that he's saying that you should do, because if you don't, then more than likely you're going to start breaking commandments, So, I don't want to go too far in it, but that's just something the Lord want me to put spirit on. I'll read a little bit more. So it says, verse 7, for I would that all men were even as myself, but every man have his proper gift of the Most High, one after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and the widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I, but if they cannot contain, which means that they, if they just can't go without a man, with a man, and that's how most women are. They can't go without a man. A real woman of the Lord, she's gonna want a man of the Lord to serve her, or for her to serve. It's lucky. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn, and not burn like fire burn, but like, like being lustful all the time, and not being self-constrained and always, thinking about, that situation of, lusting after somebody. And that's what it's for. Marriage is to contain yourself. It's not to just be some like big thing about pleasure, And that's got to do with self-controls in our body, And that's just like it is with Yahawashi. Our marriage is self-containing ourselves from this world and staying away from staying away from doing excess of anything, being contained, being content with what we have. So this is Leviticus chapter 19. Let's do this. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27. This is some other things that you don't want to do. You know, the Lord's putting the spirit on me, you know, for all the new brothers that are coming in this truth. You know, you happen to come across on page. These are some of our rules that the Yahawashi Yahawashi, these are some of the commandments, how we're supposed to keep our bodies. So it says, ye shall not round the corners of your heads, which means like what? Like not to do edge ups and stuff. Neither thou shalt mar the corners of thy beard. We're not supposed to be doing edge ups and stuff like that, because it's in a way, like I was listening to one of the big bros, GMS and Truth Orlando, a while back, and he said basically it's almost like you're trying to still fit in America, Babylon the Great. Like you're still trying to be here. Like you're trying to fit in and look attractive and whatnot. We're not supposed to do any cuttings, you know, and that's the same way with tattoos and things like that. These are the laws. And this is why you see all of us, we don't have edge ups, we don't have our beard shaved all crisp and stuff, because that's not how we're supposed to do things. It's supposed to be natural, and almost like we want to look like we a widow. Like we a widow, yeah, how about Yahawashi? We bring back into the you know, the fold to get delivered. You know, you want to look like a tired widow, like I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get me out of here. Not looking all crisp and clean and looking like you still trying to live here. Okay, this place finna be destroyed. These are the things we don't need to be worrying about. You know, looking presentable for, you know, to get a good job here or whatever, you know. So this is verse 28. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, which is talking about like tattoos, stuff like that, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord Yahawashi Yahawashi. And that's also going back to the sea hip, you know. These things that we don't do, which is, you know, we know the C hip is the MOTB, the RFDI, CIHP that you put in your right hand, or you put it in your forehead, and you gotta scan to get in everywhere and by ourselves. You know, we know these things, but we always remind our people of these things, because these are things that are coming up pretty soon that we really need to take heed to and understand, you know, and to continually talk about it, because the process of it is advancing, you know, at a rapid rate. So there's another thing talking about the body, Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. So this is just, you know, these are things that the Lord's very serious about, you know, and that's why, you know, you got people with depression and they do the whole thing with they'll do their cuts and stuff to you know, I guess like ease their pain or whatever. But you know, we're not to do nothing like that. That's what Esau, Edom, and them do. You know, that's what they about. We don't get down like that. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you. See, so it's riddled throughout the scriptures that, you know, the church is the body. That's who we are. You know, we're the body, and of course, you know, we're not like the top prophets or nothing like that. You know, I can only speak for myself. I'm not no top prophet. I learned from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and I'm following to the best of my abilities. You know, I know the Lord sent them. You know, they're the ones who have all the deep breakdowns, and that's who we learn the secrets from. You know, I just want to be, you know, an example to the flock that, you know, they have students that honor them, and we honor this truth, you know, and we want to grow in this truth, and we want to better ourselves and make sure that all the hard work that they did, you know, at least in my life, it paid off, you know, because they want to see us grow, you know, the younger brothers in this, you know. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify, therefore, your members which are upon the earth, fornication, which is sleeping with another man's wife, uncleanness, inordinate affection. What's inordinate affection? We can look that up. It says an unhealthy and obsessive attachment to a person or thing that manifests to uncontrollable love. See, it's got to be controlled. You got to control yourself, you know. And that's why a lot of marriages fall apart, because, you know, it's hard to tame Eve. You know, sometimes she gets out of control. You know, so you got to be able to be somebody who's ready to tame a woman like that and keep her balanced. You know, just like the Lord with us. Sometimes we got out of control. You know, and that was just because we had to. We had to learn why it's not good to be not in no control. Got to be a balance on all this. I also want to look it up in the blue letter as well. So, inordinate affection.
Strong's G 3806. Pathos. Pathos.
So it says, whatever befalls one, whether it be sad or joyous, specifically a calamity, mishap, evil, or affliction, a feeling which the mind suffers, an affliction of the mind, emotion, passion, passionate deed used by the Greeks in either a good or bad sense. So we're not supposed to overdo anything when it comes to, you know, a bad time or a good time. We got to keep ourselves balanced, you know, make sure that we're not taking anything too much in. You know, we got to keep ourselves rooted in this faith that the Lord's got us going through this to work with our patience through both of those times, the good times and the bad times. You know, because if you be too overly happy about something, when a hard time comes, it'll crush it. It'll crush your relationship. So those are just some things the Lord put the Spirit on me to deal with, but it was really talking about, you know, not tainting your body and, you know, ways on how to, you know, treat yourself and treat your wife if you ever get one. We know it's late in that time to do that, but it's still gonna happen. It didn't say that it was a sin to marry. You know, but if you're gonna make sure it's for Bahasham, Yahawashi, and it's not for this world. So now we're going over here. So it says in AI Bible, Pope Francis and the Vatican issued their own ethics handbook for artificial intelligence. So this is just also showing there the false prophets. You know, what is an AI Bible? They weren't the prophets back then. There was no robots walking around teaching the word. Like, and look at these people, man. They worshiping this devil. But this is how it's supposed to be. You know, this is all part of the Most High's plan to deceive 2/3 and the rest of the nation, so they can have a reason to be destroyed. You know, so I want to get into some precepts. This is Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. And it reads, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. And it's talking about Esau eating the so-called white man, but also the false prophet, which is the Roman Catholic Church. You know, that's Esau Edom. He shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and to think to change the times and laws. And what more way you can change the times and the laws other than making an AI Bible? That's a big way to change the times and the laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. You know, and Lord willing, that time is just about up. You know we at the end of the end. You know, but we can't tell you exactly when the end is. Only the Most High knows. You know, he said even Yahawashi doesn't even know. Only the Father knows. And Yahawashi is waiting on the command of you know, the Ancient of Days, Yahawah, to tell him when to come down here and to slay the wicked. So Daniel chapter 2, verse 20, and Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. So whenever we have wisdom and might in this truth, that's not from us, it's from the Most High. Verse 29, and he changes the times and the seasons and he removeth kings and setteth up kings. And this is what Daniel was talking about after he had told King Nebuchadnezzar his dream, you know, about this statue of all the kingdoms falling, you know, and we're at the bottom of that statue right now. So that's how we know we're at the end of the end. So, and setteth up kings, he giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. See, we don't get this understanding on our own. The Lord has to give it to us. And he gave it to Great Millstone. The Great Millstone has passed it down, and we cling to the body. You know, all of us that came to this truth after them, and we following in their footsteps, and we're trying to help carry out the will of Yahawashi and Yahawashi to the best of our abilities. Verse 22, he revealed the deep and secret things. And see, that's what I was listening to Elder Benat Zabak earlier, and he was doing a lesson talking about how a lot of these Christians and everything, they talk about they love the Lord, but they don't got none of the secrets. If they had some of the, if they really love the Lord, they would have some of the secrets. So Salakia, bear with me. I got to get my charger for my computer on time. Thought it would last longer than that. Oh, here it is. All right. Salakia, which means, you know, sorry. You know, bear with me. All right, I'm back. And to water for everybody that's tuning in, you know, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Barak, Atham, all who are tuning in, hope this is edifying to you. So it says he knoweth what is in the darkness. It says he reveals the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. So whenever we get light, or we're made a man made upright, and we have this uprightness and this understanding, that's how we know it's not of us. You know, because the light is with him. He's got the light. So we can't even get it without him. You know, so that's why we want to make sure we're in order, because everybody else is doing this. Jude chapter 1 verse 11. Woe unto them. Who's them? Everybody else who's not in this fold and clings to the brotherhood. But they have gone in the way of Cain. What's the way of Cain? Well, Tubal Cain, his son, he was the first artificer of weapons. You know, the first blacksmith. And that's how this place is. They love weapons. You know, America loves weapons. America, Babylon the Great. And across the four corners of the earth, everybody got weapons because of the wicked, because of Cain. So that's what it means, the way of Cain. All these people who murder and kill and rape and pillage for gain, you know, and lie and steal. So in the way of Cain, and ran greedy after the heir of Balaam for reward. You know, we know who Balaam is. You know, he was a very wicked man. You know, and they were worshiping him as well, and perished in the gainsaying of Korah. You know, and that's how that's going to happen to them this time. They're going to perish too. They're going to perish again. So Revelations chapter 19, verse 19. And it reads, and I saw the beast, which is the revived Roman Empire, which is basically the United Nations, NATO, and EU, the 10 NATO and European nations, you know, but they're splitting up because the Lord is setting Satan against Satan to destroy himself. And the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse. And we're talking about sat on the horse is the white horse. And that white horse that sat on that white horse with all the crowns on his head was Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, and against his army. So that's why when I was talking about video a while ago that the Space Force general was saying get ready for battle, because they're all going to try to fight Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, saith the Lord. You know, might not look like they're going against each other, but they're going to come together and they're going to try to take down this the system of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi after they destroy America, Babylon the Great. So verse 20, and the beast was taken, And with him, the false prophet, which is these guys right over here, the Vatican, the Roman Public Catholic Church, and basically Christianity and all that is basically just a you know, like a generic version of that, like a knockoff of it, but it's the same thing, like a watered down version of it, but they're all part of the Catholic, you know, crusades, basically. So I'm with him, the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. What's some of those miracles? Making AI Bibles and stuff like that, you know. And they also just made the world's first flying car. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. We're just gonna keep going right here. With him, the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image, and these were both cast alive into the lake of burning fire burning with brimstone, and that's 200 intercontinental ballistic missiles coming from the east. That's what's going to happen to them. The land of Israel is going to be destroyed. This place is going to be destroyed, and many other places are going to be slain by the sword across the world by Yahawashi. So we're going to go over here into. Well, I don't want to pull up a couple more precepts about this. This is 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. And it reads, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are the Most High." And that's why we don't just look at not every Israelite is going to look like a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American. Some of them going to look like so-called white people. Some of them are going to look like so-called Japanese. Some of them are going to look like so-called Chinese. You know, we're scattered across the four corners of the earth, so we have to try by the spirit. And one thing the Lord really does not like is an effeminate spirit, you know, in a man. You know, it's okay for a woman to be effeminate. That's they're the weaker vessel. But the man, we're not supposed to be effeminate. And I was looking that up yesterday, you know, when I was studying, and feminine, it means basically soft. Like we're not supposed to be soft. We're supposed to be hard men, soldiers. We're not supposed to be, you know, all, you know, butthurt, you know, about little shit or big shit. We're supposed to be men about it, you know. So, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are the Most High, because many false prophets are going out in the world. And those, you know, those church prophets who act all soft. They're not the people of the Lord. You know, we're like, if you're one of the elect men, you're literally finna go into battle with the brotherhood, and you're gonna kill everything. Like, we can not no little weak people over here. You know, we're not weak. You know, we're weak in the flesh right now, but in the spirit, we're not weak. We're strong. So this is Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. "Beware of false prophets would come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravaging wolves." So see, they always come acting all perfect and being all, oh, he said a cuss word. There ain't nowhere in the Bible that say where cuss words is bad. It's just hard speech. When it talks about anything, when it comes to cursing in the Bible, you know, it's talking about actually putting a curse on somebody. You know, ain't nowhere back in the scriptures where you say somebody said shit, damn, hell, fuck, and then the Lord punished it. It's not in there. And if you can find it, don't worry. We're going to wait because you're not going to find it. It's not in there. So, but inwardly, they are ravaging wolves, trying to act like they all perfect and stuff. We're not over here acting like we perfect. We go off every day. That's why we're supposed to repent every day. There's so many transgressions that we do on a normal basis. Even going to work on the Sabbath, that's a transgression in itself. You know, and that's why we don't want to just be like, oh, it said a righteous man falls down 7 times, which means perfection, but he gets back up again. You know, and we try to do our best. You know, we ain't trying to fall off. You know, but this world, we in our captivity. They make it to where we ain't got no choice. They put pork in the damn water and shit, all types of shit. Making fake chicken, where our bodies are being defiled, even if we try to eat the right things. That's why we got to pray over everything and pray Yahawashi. He keeps our minds right, because this stuff is meant to break down our minds and make us weak, effeminate men. So if you're not a weak, effeminate man and you still tough in this time, hey, the Lord's doing that. They got estrogen in the food and everything. They fucking off our people, man. Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. "For there shall rise false Mashiach, which means Christ in Paleo-Hebrew, which means the anointed one, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders." See, AI Bibles, all that other kind of stuff. In so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect, but they can't deceive the elect because we the hopeful elect, and you ain't even deceiving us. They're not even deceiving us. We see right through it. Like, we know that ain't right. We know that ain't nothing good for our people. So we're going to keep moving. So this is North Korea. We're going to watch this little video real quick. Short little video. I think it's only like 55 seconds, but it's North Korea. They're holding anti-U.S. Mass anti-U.S. rallies, okay? This is all basically just to, you know, take out America Babylon the Great. This is the 73rd anniversary. Look at that. Look at that. They got a whole picture. Look, that's prophecy right there. You see that? That's prophecy. That's America Babylon the Great. They know prophecy. You see this? The whole thing is on fire. That's prophecy right there, man. We were just reading about that in Revelation 19. That's what's going to happen. This is crazy, man. That's crazy how our people don't see that as prophecy. You know what I'm saying? They really don't. They don't get it, you know? So, you know, I just wanted to show, you know, these damn bastards doing what they doing. They think they the shit. They think they finna do something. The Lord gonna kill all of them too. They think they know what they're doing. So anyways, we're gonna read a little bit of this. It says North Korea held one of the biggest anti-rallies in years, where more than 100,000 people would carry banners and their banners that pledged to pulverize the American empire and denounce Washington as it seeks talks with Pyongyang. Okay, that was 3 days ago. Okay, they're serious. Okay, they want to destroy this place. Other places want to destroy this place. It's going to be hell here. Okay, and they didn't do that. They didn't have rallies talking about they want to destroy this place, you know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But our people still think that this danger is not going to happen in our time. So we're going to read Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6. Yeah, verse 6. And it reads, flee out of the midst of Babylon. And when it's talking about flee out of the midst of Babylon, it's saying spiritually, you know, it's not talking about really leave Babylon, because the Lord said he was going to redeem us without money. So that means that we don't got to leave. We're supposed to wait on the Lord and become not like this world, be of the world, be in the world, but not of the world. So when he comes, we can escape judgment. So Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. That's why we're supposed to get rid of our sins, like smoking vapes and stuff. For this is the time of the Lord Yahawah's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense, which means payback. See, he's going to pay them back for all that wickedness that they've been doing. Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great, have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. See, he was controlling them. That made all the earth drunken with their philosophies, the legislations, the draconian measures, you know, them harsh laws. The nations have drunken of her wine, that petrodollar, wherefore the nations are mad. Now they what? Bound to destroy this place. So now we're going to do Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 10. This is one I really like bringing up a lot. Thus saith the Lord Yahawashi, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to destroy this place. That's what they're doing. That's what they're preparing to do, and they're already speaking it right now. They got banners showing a quadrillion missiles coming over here and destroying the whole America. That's what's going to happen. And that's why we keep telling our people, we need to repent and come back to the ways of Yahawashi. Isaiah 48:20. Go ye forth to Babylon, free ye from the Chaldeans, which is so-called white man, with a voice of singing, declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, the Lord have redeemed his servant Jacob. And that's what we're doing, where he's redeeming us through this truth, you know? No matter what, even if we don't make it out of here, some of the men who's going to die for Yahawashi, we're being redeemed because we know this truth. That's mercy in itself, that we have this truth after all the things that we did wrong to the Most High, all the things that we fell away from, all the things that our people are still sinning against the Lord and doing. This is a blessing to have this truth. So Isaiah chapter 52, verse 3, for thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, ye shall be redeemed without money. See, he's going to come get us. We don't got to go run. He's going to come get us. So this is Revelations chapter 18, verse 4. And it reads that I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye not receive her plagues. See? Talking about coming out of her spiritually, because we can't get saved out of here if we all run away and go into other nations. Then we can't get saved out of here. We're supposed to get saved out of here. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. So the Lord knows what these people have done to our people. And there's so many wicked things that Esau, even the so-called white man, has done to our people. And like, people don't understand, that we're still finding out some of the wicked stuff that they have done. You know, they've done so much wickedness that they have covered up. Hey, man, and the Lord knows all that. That's why they're terrified. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And knowing the time, what's that time? The end of the end, that now is the high time. Now it is high time to wake up out of sleep. For now salvation is nearer than we believe. You see? So we're real close to getting out of here. Real close. Seeing stuff like this. This is beautiful times for Israel. Okay? This is the Lord stirring up the nations. So this is world's first flying car. Model A gets flight certified, and it's 100% electric, right? So that's their new flying car. That's what it looked like. You know, it looks like almost like a futuristic Corvette / Mustang. You know, don't want to get too much into it or whatever, but they're saying it's going to be expected to begin in the fourth quarter of 2025. But they're saying that it's you know, basically approved. You know, and what's crazy is, you know how much they said this thing gonna cost? They gonna start it at $335 or $35,000, over 300-mile flying range. You really think it's smart to get a $35,000 flying car? That's a cheap ass car, man. That shit is gonna have so many problems. And somebody, man, Esau Edom is bugging out, man. They gonna die trying to fly that thing. But you know, this just put the spirit on me to bring up a few precepts about this. You know, this is just showing that knowledge being increased to and fro, as it says in Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. But we're gonna go to Revelations chapter 13, because this is the kind of stuff that's got people worshiping this place, because all that money and all those wonders that they're doing, making flying cars in 2023. So Revelations 13:14. Let's do 13:13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And that's talking about Fat Man and Little Boy in World War II. And they bombed those Japanese cities. Verse 14, and devoured them that dwell and deceiveth them, Salakia, that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. See, in sight of the Roman Empire, okay? In sight of the revived Roman Empire, that power. Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, that which had the wound by a sword and did live. Talking about the first Roman Empire, the first Roman Empire that fell, and now they got healed. And that's talking about America, Babylon the Great, which is the very bottom of, you know, basically the end of the statue, the little horn that comes out, and after that everything gets destroyed. So Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 3. And it reads, the great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles. Verse 4, yet the Lord have not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear until this day. And that's how 2/3 of our people are. Because these are miracles that are coming forth. Why? Because prophecy is playing out. That's a miracle that through everything that everybody said about the word being wrong is playing out right before our eyes. But 2/3 of our people still don't perceive and understand what's happening, you know? And this is really talking about in the time when Israel was in the wilderness for 40 years, and they wandered in the wilderness and they died off. They didn't believe into that day either, and to this day too. They don't believe either. You know, it applies to today. They just out here wandering around in the wilderness trying to make their home in America, Babylon the Great. So now we're going to go over here. And over there up north, there's a lot of bad air quality. Poor air quality is expected to linger the next few days in the northern U.S. Smoke from ongoing wildfires in Canada is creating unhealthy haze across the Midwest. Now, there was a video that it was the Prophets of Babylon. They did a video, and it showed a plane. It was dumping fire out of the plane, man. They causing this. Esau Edom is up to this, okay? They want to cause pandemonium and disorder, and they trying to kill people off as well, you know, trying to pressure people into taking that sea hill, you know. So we're gonna look over here. We're gonna go into Isaiah chapter 24, verse 4, and it reads, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. They're gonna fade away. The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Why? Why, Lord? Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. They broke all the everlasting covenants, you know, and they caused our people to break them too. That's why everything is out of order. Therefore, hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore, the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And that's what's coming. It's going to be few men left on the earth. And all these women that's out here that's thinking that a man of the Lord ain't important, they're going to find out when that's really the only men that are left, you know? And then you're going to have the wicked out here, the last ones that are supposed to get slain. So Amos chapter 3, verse 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? There's nowhere on earth that there hasn't been Yahawah's hand in everything. He said he's the light and the darkness, you know. But the Christians, they'll always say that the devil did it. The Lord had nothing to do with it. No, he said he created light and darkness. He created good and evil. He do all these things. So this is Hosea chapter 4, and we're going to start at verse 1. It reads, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord Yahawashi have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Why, Lord? Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. Nobody here doesn't care about Yahawashi except the hopeful elect. And that's a very small majority. And you got these other people talking about, oh, well, GMS, they don't capture the crowd. Well, it already says that the world will hate you for my name's sake. So if everybody was calling us good and coming over and coming at us, they said that's the same thing he say to the prophet. That's the same thing that they say about the false prophets, you know? So this is verse 2. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood. See? That's what they do to get by. Verse 3, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, and the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea shall be taken away. And that's been happening a lot too. There's been a lot of dead fish in the oceans. Okay, this is all signs to know that the end is near, you know. But you know, only those who have eyes to see and ears to hear gonna see. So I got one more precept. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Slakia. Okay, so Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, and this is why these people keep doing wicked things, because they're like, well, I've been doing wicked stuff, I've been getting away with it, you know, so they keep doing it. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men, which is the other 16 nations, and then the heart of the wicked, the men of the wicked, are Esau, Edom, so-called white man, the son of the wicked, and then you got the sons of living power, Yahawah, which is Israel, the men, first and foremost. So it says the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And we know that heart means mind, their inner will. That's what is set for them to do evil. That's why there's so much wickedness in the earth, you know? And the Lord is only going to let them do it for so amount of time, and then they're going to be taken out of the way. So, you know, that's what I got for today. Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel. You Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations, scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, led me to this truth and been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the election, to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, be part of that number. Lord willing, is be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. So shalom to water for tuning in. Water for tuning in. Lord willing, we'll be able to exalt the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi another day. Shalom.